Hey guys, Sundown Rider here. This is going to be my chapter review to Nanatsu no Taizai 225, To the Ruined City. Now, I thought this chapter was going to be really slow paced and really slow moving right after the events of last chapter, with the Demon King being revealed, the Supreme Deity being revealed, and the whole depressingness and all the emotion that was the kind of emotional roller coaster that we all went through with the whole the curses of Elizabeth and Meliodas being explained and exactly what's happening, and then Ban being guilt ridden and all that shit. But we did get that chapter. Basically, it was a real slowdown from what we've had in the last few chapters, but then the end kind of throws us for a loop, and the next chapter is called Wild. So if you haven't read this chapter, you need to read this chapter all the way through to the end so that you don't get spoiled, because there will be spoilers. It's a review. So what happens is we start off at the village in this chapter where Gowther was found when Elizabeth and Meliodas were recruiting the Seven Deadly Sins, and the chief there is offering up travelers to the demons as kind of like a rent kind of thing. Like, he's paying up the demons with the souls of travelers to keep the villagers safe. His son Peliot is like, I'm going to fight back against the demons. A demon is listening in, and then Peliot gets wrecked. And his dad was like, oh, don't say anything about the demons. What if they heard? And, well, bitch, they heard. So, he's getting his ass kicked. And then Gowther, in his Armando form, if you remember how Gowther looked when you first saw him, his hair was kind of like Derriere's, but in a black fashion, but in a black color. And he's there in that fashion to kind of be recognized by the villagers so that they feel at ease, and he gets the demon to beat the shit out of itself. Then there's another huge ass demon. King destroys that demon, so it's kind of showcasing the powers of the Seven Deadly Sins at this moment in time. They can just shred these lesser demons like it's nothing. They're flies just buzzing around, basically. So the Sins rid the town of the demons. You can see Meliodas talking to Merlin out on the outskirts of the village. And there's some dead grey demons just around the perimeter of the village. So Meliodas is talking to Merlin. She's like, is it okay to be wasting our time here? He's like, panicking and rushing in is the one thing we absolutely mustn't do. Remember that. Okay, remember that part, because he's like, panicking and rushing in is the last thing we want to do right now. We want to be slow, we want to be measured, and we want to take this easy. All right, we can't rush anything. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So then we see this whole interaction between Ban and just kind of his own mind, really. He's just talking to himself, and he's guilt ridden. He's really guilt ridden about his interaction with Meliodas. He's like, I can't. He's like, this is the first time in a long time I've actually felt like dying because of what he said, which is you don't know how it feels like to lose the same person again. And Meliodas was like, 106 times, dude. I'm just saying. So I was like, yo. So Ban's pissed off, and then the demon's beating down on him, and he's just like, you know what, forget this, and he absolutely wrecks that demon. And he gets like this huge rape face. It looks so. It's gonna be my thumbnail. That rape face is gonna be my thumbnail. It was so good. And he just gets so pissed off. So then we get an interaction between Gowther and Peliot, and I'm not too sure what it is, because Gowther seems like he's almost grooming Peliot into becoming a holy knight. Maybe once all this is over, Gowther will come back and take Peliot as an apprentice. Apprentice him as a holy knight. And he asks Peliot some questions. Actually, let me see what the questions were. I've got it up here. The questions were along the lines of, if your friends were in trouble and it was a problem that other people couldn't solve easily, but it was a problem so troubling that it could mean your friends' very lives, what would you do? And Peliot, we don't see his answer, but he says the answer's obvious. And the answer in this manga would be that I'd do everything I could just to help save my friends, That's what this manga's all been about, unity. Well, that's one of the things it's been about. So I think Gowther was just trying to get some sort of reassurance for what he's planning to do, which is trying to help Meliodas, trying to help Ban, Elizabeth, Elaine, and he's just trying to make sure he's doing the right thing. Emotions are now a new thing to him, so he's just making sure he's doing the right thing. But he's also, I think, grooming Peliot for his future. So Diane and Escanor then have this a few panels where they feel responsible for Elizabeth's condition. Diane encouraging the return of Elizabeth's memories was one of the things that encouraged the return of her memories. Escanor asked Elizabeth to heal Merlin, which led to her meeting with Zeldris, where he told her about everything, and that encouraged the return of her memories. And Hawk just kind of shuts them both the hell up. He's just like, shut up, man. You can't be fretting about this right now. Meliodas is suffering. We gotta just we gotta pick it up a bit and we gotta kick some ass. Just take it easy. So then we get this page of days kind of compressed as they go by. It's like just a quick glance of the days as they go by. We get Ban. He's lying in bed naked with Elaine, so we assume they banged. You get Meliodas, who's brooding and then kind of sitting by Elizabeth, brooding once again. And then you get also there's this weird picture of King kind of touching Diane's hair. I was like, okay, good job, first base, man. So and then you get a panel, a nice, actually, a very well drawn panel. I liked it. It wasn't like overly detailed. It just looked really nice, where they reached the city stronghold of Corinth. And let me see how far I am in this review. Okay, yeah. So they reached the city stronghold of Corinth, and Zeldaris stands at the gates of Corinth. I was like, what, bruh? He's actually there. He's just stood there, and Merlin's like, don't do anything, guys. It's a trap. Escanor's actually the first guy that sees him, and he's like, there's someone there. And Meliodas disregards his own piece of advice. And I remember I said he said panicking and rushing in is the one thing we don't want to do. But Meliodas disregards that completely, and he attacks almost in desperation, because if you remember last chapter, he makes mention that only someone with a power level equivalent to the Demon King or the Supreme Deity can alleviate the curse from Meliodas and Elizabeth. And Zeldaris is the person that's been loaned the power of the Demon King as the representative of the Demon King. So he has a power level that's equivalent to theirs, and therefore can alleviate both Meliodas and possibly Elizabeth, or one of the two, either way, of their curses. So that's going to be an awesome interaction, because Meliodas is desperate now to alleviate himself and Elizabeth of the curse, because he doesn't want to see her die for 107th time. He doesn't have the balls to kind of go through with it, and he doesn't want to have to meet up a new Elizabeth all over again. And it seems like, because this time the 7 deadly sins are with him as well, he just can't hack losing this Elizabeth more so than the rest. So it seems like this time he needs to get it done. And also the 10 commandments are actually here this time. But Batra's prophecies are all coming true as they go along. So I think he feels this is the right time to attack Zeldaris, and the fact that Zeldaris is actually there this time, he's got someone that can alleviate them of the curse. So he's attacking in desperation. But the other thing is, Zeldaris, we know what type of power he has. He's loaned the power of the Demon King. The Demon King absolutely wrecked Meliodas and Elizabeth at their prime, when they're both kicking ass. Meliodas was at the peak of his powers. Well, we assume he was at the peak of his powers. We don't actually know what meeting Elizabeth did to him. Did it reduce his powers in any way? It reduced his ruthlessness and his viciousness, but did it reduce his actual power level? So we don't really know how powerful Meliodas was before, when he was an actual kick-ass demon. But we do know the Demon King wrecked him and Elizabeth when they were at their peak in that state. And Zeldaris should have that same power as the Demon King. So Meliodas is really at a disadvantage here, because Zeldaris is powerful as shit. So Zeldaris ends the chapter by saying, wake up already and stop being imprisoned by that woman. So that's how the chapter ends, and the next chapter is called Wild. Now, just to remind you guys, I'm not going to be reviewing One Piece, the next chapter of One Piece, on Thursday, because I'm going to be in Egypt. It was a good thing this fairy tale chapter and this Nanatsu no Taizai chapter dropped a little bit earlier on Saturday. So I won't be reviewing that next One Piece chapter. I'll be in Egypt, but I'll try and maybe review it on the Monday that I get back. So I'll be gone for a week. So I'll see you guys then. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in just over a week.